Hey, welcome to Replay Analysis, guys. We're doing a diamond level Zerg versus Protoss for our boy New or C9. C9. We're gonna help him figure out what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong. C9. Let's see what you got, dude. What you got, dude? What you got? 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 What you got, dude? C9. What do you... Okay. Not a big fan of how you did this. Early. A little bit later. 180 off the mineral line is perfect. And I think that you scouting down here is actually really bad. So if you pull 180 immediately and go here, you build it right away. The reason why I don't like that you scouted down here first is because if a probe is running at you and you're running at a probe and you don't react immediately, and let's say you would have had 300 minerals as you got here, and the probe gets too close to your drone, and he blocks your hatchery from going down because you went further away from it than you needed to. So like when you got here, let's say you had like 350 minerals because you got too close to the probe. I don't like that. Not a fan. And your overlord, it already does the job anyways. So I definitely would not recommend you do what you... I would definitely recommend you change that part about your play. I really don't like that. Personally. Because your overlord literally does it anyways. That's Lambo advice. I mean, the only thing I could say would be logical about that would be if the probe got pulled really fucking, like, really early, and he was clearly going to block you before you got to 300 here, and you wanted to then take your, like, third base or something, like, just a little bit faster, because he's going to absolutely block your natural. Even if you're going 16 hatch, because he pulls super fucking fast off the mineral line or something. That would be... okay. But I don't like it. Especially for a diamond player, I really don't like it. It just slows you down unnecessarily. Because you pull off really early. Okay. Okay, one more thing I don't like about what you did, C9. Your build so far is great. I love that you made drones. That's a plus in my book for you right now. That's a plus. But I don't like that you actually moved away from the gateway slightly too fast. You actually did not confirm if this is or is not chrono boosting right now. You don't need to stay there the whole time either. You just need to stay there for like 3 seconds after the gateway starts. This is pretty big deal. Okay? It tells you if the Protoss is going... Oops. It tells you if the Protoss is going to rush your ass or not. It also lets you know when the unit is going to pop out of the gateway with the timer. So, production-wise, you're still making drones. I fucking love it, okay? That's really good. Your follow-up here has been great with your build. But, like, right here... 213. If a Stalker is chrono boosted or an Adept is chrono boosted, it'll pop out of the gateway at 233. If it is not chrono boosted, it'll pop out at 243, okay? It's a 10-second difference there if it is or isn't chrono boosted. Now, if this Protoss chrono boosts, if he does or doesn't, it lets you know when you should expect something coming out of his base. And the fact that you're making drones right now makes me really happy because there's no Adept that's attacking you right now. This is not Terran with a Reaper. So I love that you're making drones. I just would have liked it if you would have looked a little bit longer at the gate. And then also the core. Like, you're still seeing the core a little bit longer, though. But notice how he's not doing anything on the core either right away. That's a pretty big deal. Automatically, I would be worried about proxy if I were you until you saw that. No chrono on the gateway for a second there. Also... But he did start a unit at least. No warp gate started. No warp gate at all. So something weird is happening with this Protoss. Either he is doing a fucked up build, or he is not spending his gas on this, and it is instead getting like a really fast Stargate, or like a really fast Council, or something like that. Just so you guys know, if Protoss does a normal build, like if we go back and look at this guy's build, we will be able to tell that this guy's build is fucked up in some way. Because he's not proxying and he's not doing anything weird here. He just doesn't have enough gas. So, generally speaking, if someone skips warp gate like that, they can definitely afford, and they also, if they skip like a unit out of the gateway, they can afford, like I said, like a Stargate super fucking fast. Or if it's going to be not a Stargate, they can afford like a Robo or a Council really quickly. Usually though, when people do this, it's a Stargate. Because this is kind of scary if you don't have Warp Gate early, but a Stargate makes up for the difference. But overall, I like your Scout. I don't like how you missed the Chrono Boost. Otherwise, I love your Scout. Also, the Protoss isn't making probes right now. These are huge signs. These are huge signs that tell you the Protoss is probably falling apart already. This guy's build is fucked. He's not making probes. Anyone who doesn't make probes is either all-inning the shit out of you. Why is he not getting Warp Gate though? Doesn't make any sense anymore. He's clearly not doing a Warp Gate all-in because he's not even getting Warp Gate. And he's not getting probes either. So this guy just doesn't macro. You can tell. Watch the Nexus. Watch the crystal on the Nexus. Watch this crystal on top of the Nexus. It has swirly lines going around it. Watch it. See the swirly lines? Okay, well now he's Chrono Boosting. And nothing. There's no swirly lines. Nothing is going on in this Nexus. It is not producing anything. And now he is. He just missed like 8 seconds of probe. Like 7-8 seconds of probing. That's a huge sign as well. That would make me feel really good. If you're macroing like a boss and seeing that out of Protoss would be like, wow, I feel so good right now. Either this guy is hiding like a third Nexus somewhere already, or he just doesn't really have good macro cycles. And he just Chrono Boosted something else, probably the natural, or like, okay, so hold on. That's a sign again. That's what you just saw right there. Like, do I expect you to see that? Not necessarily. But you could tell the difference of the energy on the Nexus. So, let me show you something. This is relevant shit, okay? This is high-level relevant shit. This is maybe a bit above Diamond League, but it's still shit that I want to talk about because it's really relevant to what we're seeing here. So, he's got a Chrono Boost on the Nexus. You can tell because of the line on it that shows you it's being chronoed. And then it's over. And then no probes were being made for a little while. And now let's say you commit to memory. He has enough energy. This is more than a fourth of the bar. You could literally click the Nexus and see that, or you could gauge it from the bar. That is absolutely more than a fourth of the bar. A fourth of the bar is about like right there, or like maybe like right there. Like that's clearly more than a fourth. So the point I'm trying to make here is let's say you went back and macro. You do this. You're macroing, and you're like, all right, what is Protoss doing right now? And now you're like, huh. 37 energy on that Nexus, eh? Okay. Well, hear me out, okay? Think about this. This is where you want to be careful, because you want to know what I think he just Chrono Boosted? I think he just Chrono Boosted. He might have Chrono Boosted his Nexus, but I feel like he Chrono Boosted his gate or something shit like that, because it would make me think that. Because here's look at this now. Look at the Nexus. It's not even fucking close to being done, right? It's not even close to being done. It's still a ways out. That Nexus was still like probably 15-20 seconds, like about 15 seconds out. And then he does this within about 15 seconds of, like, when the Nexus finishes, essentially, immediate chrono. This Nexus probably just finished, and he already chronoed here. A Nexus starts with enough energy to chrono itself. So either he told this Nexus to chrono that Nexus, or he double chronoed that Nexus, or he chronoed the gateway as well. Like, that Nexus can chrono itself, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So the fact that he used that chrono energy off his main base would make me think he chronoed like his gateway or some shit. But we can clearly tell he double chronoed his Nexus. That is another sign that would tell me this guy is fucking making mistakes like crazy. This guy's probably drunk. Look at his Nexus when it finishes. He blows both chronos right here. This is huge detail. This is actually really relevant. Because if you could, like, this would make me think he's chronoing the gateway. That would make more sense. But if he's not making any units out of the gateway, and you confirm that with, like, you know, an Overlord or a Zergling or whatever, it just shows you that this Protoss is falling for, like, they're already behind because they weren't making probes, and now they double chronoed. Like, watch this chrono energy. Watch it. He has enough to chrono here, and he has enough to chrono here. And then he chronos, and then he, watch, look at the timer. It'll go back up again, because he chronos it again. He did it again. So he just fucked himself on a chrono, and noticing that is a really big deal. That's like okay, well, you're now a full chrono down where you would want to be if you're not chronoing. Like, it would make you think he's chronoing the gateway. But here's the thing. It's really fucking weird that he's not going to get Warp Gate and chrono the gateway. Right? Like, this dude, his build is already not adding up very well. And we're going to kind of drop it here from now on. We're going to move on from this guy. But straight up, all this would make me think if I was Zerg against this kind of a player is that this guy is literally scatterbrained all over the place. And if I just play standard and macro oriented, I'm going to win the game. Because his build is fucking crazy. Like, it literally is falling apart already before anything's even happened. So, little details like that reinforce droning. It literally, that's like, this guy has already given you a drone window, essentially. If you can catch that, this is a drone window already. Like, this guy is throwing all of his fucking energy away. Anyways, yeah, we'll go back to your build now. We'll focus more on you and less on this guy. It's more about just how to read people like this. I love that you're still droning. That makes me super happy. I love the droning. Your Overlord's still just going around his base. This is fucking sexy as hell. I love it. Love every second of it. I want you to inject your hatchery right now. I hope you inject. I hope you inject this one too. What are you looking at? There we go. Perfect. Nice. I love it. Now I want you to send your third queen that's about to spawn to your third base. And I love that you have creep already going there. And now you can see he's going Void Rays. So all you should do right now, Stalker, Void Ray, all you should do right now is wait for Zergling Speed to be done. Or like right about now, Zergling Speed's about done. Let's go back to this. Zergling Speed is about done. The perfect way you could play from the position you're in right now is make about like 14 lings, 12 lings, 16 lings, somewhere around there. 12 to 16 lings. Okay? And go be annoying at a third base. Do not attack his base. Do not try to break in the natural. Don't lose them all. Literally just try to deny a Nexus at the third as soon as he throws it down. Like, just, like, delete it as soon as he starts it. Scout the thirds and don't let him take one. And it'll give you scouting as well. Like, you can periodically check his door and then run away. And that's totally fine. Meanwhile, behind that, just make queens and drones and spread your creep and inject your hatcheries. And you'll have such a good position going in this game. I would also say right about now would be a good time to take 2 drones and put it back on your gas. Once you're fully saturated on 2 bases, put 2 drones back on your main gas. Because that way you can get a layer going up at a relatively decent time. But the fact that he's going Void Rays, here's another tip, Big tip, big tip, big tip. If you ever see a Protoss going Void Rays first, immediately, your creep should stop spreading this way as a priority and start spreading this way, right here. Like, spread against the order, like the border of the wall here, the perimeter of the wall. Like, literally spread as fast as you can down to right there. To the far right side of the map. And spread as fast as you can with the creep tumor going this way to the wall. As fast as you can, and then have it go along the border of the map. Get 2 creep tumors going to the edges of the map and then go along the sides of it. Like, you cover the border of the map with it. And then the rest of your creep, the next tumors you make after those two, can fill in the middle more and more and more. That's fine. Prioritize the sides though first, because it makes it really easy to zone out void rays when they try to hide themselves by going around the edge of the map and they're flying over creep, which is what they do all the fucking time. So this queen needs to go to the third. If you sent it to the third right away, you could have gotten there right as it finished. You could have injected it. You're missing a little bit of an inject now, which is not ideal. You could have also sent the queen to the natural. As soon as you injected, you could have sent this queen to the third too. And then the new queen spawning at the natural could have been the new injector for the space. That also would have worked, because as you can see, they're both ready to inject. Either way, it would have worked. And the reason why you could have sent the second queen as well, why that would have worked, is because you're spreading your creep already to the third, which is correct so far. And the streamer should keep going that way and then up. So that's fine. But yeah, I don't like that you're missing your inject though. It's huge. Baneling Nest, not a fan. Spores, not a fan. Here's why. Go back. Void Ray. I take it back. Spores are fine. I thought you actually saw the void, and then you saw like a second void being made in the Stargate. I take it back. If you don't get to confirm, if you can't confirm what the fuck was made, so here's what I would tell you. Actually, your Overlord should have actually gone up and around. You should have went up off the cliff and to the right, and then back down. Like go like over here and then down a little bit. Because what you'd want to see, get away from the Stalker. Use the cliff to make him have to go back down and around. And if you buy yourself an extra like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, if you could have seen what comes out of the Stargate, if a second Void Ray gets made after the first Void Ray, you don't need Spores. You really don't. You only need Spores if he makes Oracle. That's it. All you need against Void Rays is Creep Spread and Queens. If you make Spores against Oracle, it doesn't really do a whole lot. It's actually not great. It's expensive to make them. And one queen is about the same cost as one spore crawler, and because you have to sacrifice the drone as well, and you'd be better off literally just having a queen against voids. And your queen should always be in the right position if your creep spread is good. So you'll see where they come before they come to your base. So it's not going to be like, oh, well, this one spore is going to help me deal with voids that fly in the fog of war, and I don't know they're there, and suddenly the spore will help. No, that's not how it should work. You should have creep over here that spots voids. And then as the voids cross, your queens are already here ready to stop it. And the voids do nothing. And you have a lot of creep and a lot of transfuse energy. Spores are shit against voids. But if you don't know what he's doing, and it could be an Oracle now, behind the void, I agree with the Spore. Because if you don't have a Spore and an Oracle shows up, you'll lose way more than what a Spore costs in drones. I don't like your Baneling Nest, though. I also don't like your second gas that much. It looks like you're going to do... I feel like I already know what you're going to do, and we'll see if you do, but I feel like you're going to do Ravager, Roach, Ling, Baneling. I hope you don't. This composition is literally designed for, like, high-level European pro gamers, not average diamond, everyone on diamond ladder. We'll see, though. We'll see. We'll see. This is, like, the biggest fallacy of all Zerg, though. I can't even begin to tell you the amount of Zergs I've seen do this build and then fail with it and not understand why. And it's because it's a hyper aggro build that needs to kill economy. And if you're not killing economy and instead you're sitting back at your base defensively, you're literally not playing the build right. And you need to be able to have really good multitasking to be hyper aggro and also not fuck your macro up, which is something a pro gamer can do. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I hope it's not that. I like your Lings. I like that you're going to go scout the third. You can deny the third. I love this. Good shit. This is why I wanted you to make Lings. Great job. Kill that fucking third base. Nicely done. That was perfect. And you can also, that's a good read too. If you can read your opponents being like extra fucking greedy and not making gateway units, it reinforces that that will work. So really good job to make Lings there and deny that third. Fix your mineral lines a little bit. I mean, I know you're attacking, so that's probably why that looks like that. But overall, not that bad. I mean, you can still fix it now. Definitely fix it though. There we go. Good shit. Make sure you re-rally your drones to do the bases they're at though, otherwise you're going to fuck it up again because you're all still rallied to the 3rd. Hallucinated Oracle. Double Evo and a Hydrogen. I love your 4th. I like your 2nd attempt at. So like you actually should have done this a little bit faster. But if you, I'm not gonna really hold it to you like against you, because I mean this is diamond, right? But like basically what you want to do is after you kill the first 3rd base, like this. I'm not even kidding. 15 seconds on the clock. Come back. Make sure you're back here again by 5:30. Here, right now. So, wherever you go, run away for 7 seconds, run back for 7 seconds. 15 seconds. Watch this. 15 seconds goes by. You'd want to be here again at 30. Like 31, because it was like 16 when you did it. Right now. If your lings were arriving right now, you would be stopping this probe right now. As soon as you stopped it, 36, 15 seconds on the clock. Come back at 51. And the reason why you want to wait 15-second intervals is because you give Protoss enough time. You run away from what's killing you like a Void Ray, and you give Protoss enough time with 15 seconds to go, probe, go over there, build me a new Nexus. 15 seconds later, the probe will be here. And you kill it again. And you kill it again. And you kill it again. And what is he guarding his probe with? Nothing. You could easily kill this probe with these lings that are currently doing nothing. So, they missed opportunity there. You let him... You did a great job denying it the first time. You made his Nexus a full like minute later than it should have been. But imagine if you denied it every 15 seconds that goes by, another 15, and another 15. Just because you're killing the probe. You keep killing the probe. Keep killing the probe. Keep killing the probe. Every time you kill the probe, you lose 1 ling because the Void Ray kills 1 ling and the probe dies, and then you run away. It would Protoss would might even just quit the game, being like, "Holy fuck, I hate this game." Big missed opportunity there for you, because you could definitely fuck his day over way harder with what you have than you are. But still, good job though overall. It's just something to think about for the future. Fix your economies. Good job. Spread that creep. Definitely want to... Your creep spread is a little lacking. Definitely want to prioritize that creep on the sides a lot faster than you are. And here's another reason why, okay? Just let me actually elaborate a little bit more on the creep tumor on the side thing. So I'm going to do this in paint really fast. When you have a hallway that looks like this, okay? There's like the edge of the map up here. There it goes like this, and then it comes up here. And let's say there's like a piece of the map that looks like that, and then it comes out forward and goes like this, and it goes like that. And, you know, and then this has like a wall here, goes like this, and connects over there. And like this, literally, this terrain right here is where your creep could go. All your creep can go in this area. Okay? The beautiful thing about when you make a creep tumor is a creep tumor has a radius of spreading like this. Right? Spread. 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 Blah, blah, blah. There's always a creep tumor in the very middle of all of these. You get the point, right? Bunch of boobs. However, what I was telling you to do was I'm telling you to spread creep on the edges of, like, along the side. 2 tumors spreading along the side. And what I mean by that is your creep tumor would go to, like, right there. It would then go to, like, right there. It would then go to, like, right there. It would then go to, like, right there. This creep tumor would go to, like, right there. It would go to, like, right there. It would go to like right there. It would go to like right there. It would go right there. It would go right there. It would go right there. And the reason why that makes a lot of difference is because when you spread a creep tumor like this, the top part right there doesn't spread because it's off. It's off. It's literally off the terrain. You can't spread off terrain. And a creep tumor has a spread rate that is regardless always the same. It's like 1 pixel per, or like 1 grid spot per fucking like sequence or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's not really, it's hard to say it off of time, but let's just use the metric of time here, even though this is not right. Let's say it's 1 grid spot of creep per second. It's not exact, but let's just say that's what it is, okay? And let's say a full circle represents 30 grid spots, 30 spots to fill up the entire tumor, like spot. Like it's 30 spots and it fills it up. Okay. That's a full creep tumor. But the creep tumor, the cooldown of the creep tumor is up and ready to go faster than it fills in the entire creep location, which is why sometimes you'll see people having creep closer together because they're still spreading on the edge of creep, but the creep tumor's cooldown is ready to go faster than this whole area has been covered in creep. Everybody that plays Dirk knows this is a real thing. So if you put your creep tumor right there instead, like right there along the wall, like right there, you limit the amount of the black area now. This spot right here is no longer able to be spread. So now this no longer has 30 spots. This one has 15 spots that are able to be spread. 15 spots on that one. And what that means is that you can literally have creep instead of being right there from like, so if creep tumor is ready to go, right? If you put it right here and you want to spread up to the top, you put it right here. It'll be like this far out, like from here to there, that far. And you'll have a bunch of creep in the middle and stuff like that. Whereas if you played, or if you put it there, instead of only being like there, it'll literally be all the way to go like up to there. Because it'll be at max range by the time the cooldown's ready, because it can't put creep all over it. It only puts creep in the half the radius of where it can put it. So you put it against the border until you're at the edge of the map and the edge of the map. And then you can spread it more towards the middle, because then you want to cover more terrain. You just want to cover the border as fast as fucking possible, because like again, same fucking thing I just explained. Tumors go from spreading like, this is like a creep tumor's length right here when it spreads the border, and this is like a creep tumor's distance when it spreads the middle, like right here. I hope that makes sense. And it's because this creep tumor has to cover all of this terrain, and this creep tumor over here only has to cover half the terrain. It's a huge difference in how fast you can cover creep to the edge of the map. So definitely border that shit out. Border. You can't really do a border. Definitely don't go up here and cover the border of your third. Don't do that. Like saying you'd have to spread this way all the way up to there, back down, like a big fucking semicircle all the way into the edge of, like behind your third. That's obviously not good. But if you go, think about it like this. If you go from here across to the south end, same, you spread super fast going to the left because you limit that. That was a good tumor right there. That was a super good tumor. This was a good tumor because you have rocks blocking it. That tumor should spread from there to there, and that tumor should spread from there to like there, there to like there, there to like there. You get what I mean? You want to limit the amount of area you can do everywhere and go horizontally. Same thing over here. Go like diagonal to the right. That's what all it really is. And if you can do that, you can literally have such good net of vision for voids. And it's just 2 tumors, not all tumors, just 2. One on the right, one on the left. And then every other tumor being like this is fucking perfect. If this was not your first 2 tumors, this is great.
Our forces are under attack.
Nice attempt, but too late. Like I said, you missed it already, so you've missed a window for that to be effective anymore. I don't like your Spire. Way too early. Way too early on the Spire. I hate the Spire. I don't like your Baneling Nest, Baneling Speed either. You're playing against Skytoss right now. Here's a tip I'll give you. You're playing against Skytoss. You are going into... Okay, I don't like this either. You're going melee Carapace, and you're going Hydras. I'm not a fan of any of this. All that's going to happen now... This is what position you're putting yourself in. People like to think that this is not an all-in, but you're putting yourself into an all-in right now. Believe it or not. You are upgrading and maximizing your melee army, Ling Bane Ultra. If the Protoss decides he wants to play defensive the entire game, he will repeatedly kill army after army after army after army all day. Which means the only way Ling Bane's going to be worth its weight in what you're investing into it is if you kill his economy. You have to kill his economy for this to now be deemed worth it, because you physically can't attack his army. It is impossible for Ling Bane to kill Stargate units. So you will never kill Stargate units in this situation. The only alternative is you kill his economy so that he can't make more Stargate units. And then your little Hydra investment that you're going to go into will then be able to win. So that's the position you're putting yourself in now, because you're investing into Baneling Speed and also Melee and Carapace. What I think you should be doing instead is no Baneling Nest at all, because you're fighting against a Stargate-based Skytoss guy. He's already got multiple Voids, and he made no emphasis on Gateway units, and he didn't even get Warp Gate. This dude is totally a fucking Skytoss guy. He's shown you multiple things. He tried to take a third super fast. There's another tip. If a Protoss player takes a third base at 4 minutes, that fucker is going Skytoss. That guy is opening Void Ray into third base. Doesn't mean he has to go Skytoss fully, but he's definitely going one Gateway, one Stargate, third base with Voids. And another tip as well was he had nothing. He had one Stalker that tried to defend the third. That was it. One Stalker by 4 minutes to defend the third. And then you came back with Lings again later, and you killed the Stalker for the previous time. 0 Gateway units defending the third base. It was just Void Rays, and it was like 3 of them. This is so many signs that tell you this guy's going Skytoss. So many fucking signs that say, I'm a Skytoss guy. So you should know what it is, ideally. And instead of going Banelings, instead of going Melee, don't even get a Baneling Nest. Get range weapons and Carapace instead. Get Hydras. Eventually get to a Hive, and go Ultralisk. And don't even get a Spire. Go Ultras. And just make like 3 Ultras. Just like 3. 3 Ultras, and then a bunch of Hydras, and you could even make some Lings behind that too. Like maybe like 20 Lings or something. Not a lot, but a little bit. And if you have like 3/3 Hydra weapons and Carapace, your Ultra Ling will be 0/3, 0 weapon, 3 Carapace. And what'll happen is if he has a lot of Templar that have no cover by anything else, your Ultras will tank through all the air and just fucking insta-kill the Templar. And then your Hydras can fight air by itself. That's a super easy way to play against this if you want to. You could also go Lurker. That also would work too. But melee Banelings, not good. Again, you have to kill economy for this to be effective now. So if you don't kill economy, every time you invest in army and don't kill economy, you're further behind than you were before. Then you're further behind again. And then you get behind again. And you get behind again. Another sign he's going Skytoss. He's making fucking cannons. With just Void Rays defending it. And he's got Carrier in there. It's been confirmed. The thing I don't like that you're doing another all-in in another way. You're getting a little bit too caught in the moment of going, all right, let's make army. Your income right now is at 73 drones. You're stopping making hatcheries at 4 bases. You do have a macro hatch, but you have 4 bases saturation, and you're done. And you also stop making drones. This is a big no-no. You should drone in this situation. There's 2 reasons why you need a 5th base already started by now, and it needs to be done soon. 2 reasons. Number 1, you should actually be droning to mid 80s, maybe even 90. Like 85, 88, 90, 87, whatever. Something around there. So you're already down by like, let's say like 13 drones. If you had 13 more drones on this base, you would fully saturate it. That's one of the two reasons why you need a fifth already and more drones. The second reason is because your main base is about to start mining out. How do I know that? 8 minutes. This is something I said before, and I'll say it again. Every 8 minutes, far patches disappear. 8 minutes later, close patches disappear. This base has been up for 8 minutes. This base, in 2 minutes, is going to be up for 8 minutes. This base, about 2 minutes after that, is going to be up for 8 minutes. You're going to start losing a lot of patches, and you need to have bases ready to go. You need to have bases ready to go to transfer to. So you're actually starting, your economy is literally going like this. It's going to start going fucking down. Really, 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 really bad. It's going to fuck you over really bad. And you're not really in threat to die right now. This guy's playing defensive voids with cannons at the moment. He's starting his first carrier. You could easily have defended this with like 6 queens being mobile and like 3 queens injecting, which you should have been making anyways because the guy's going fucking voids early on and you saw that. Spread your creep the right way. Have like 6 queens running around trying to spread creep and making sure you're zoning out the void rays. You don't need hydras super fast. You can saturate your base with drones. You don't need to send more than 16 lings max to do anything. Once the third's up, you're done. Don't make lings anymore. It's over. You don't have to deal with a ground army. This guy's clearly not going ground. You don't need to make a bunch of lings right now. How do you know that? All the reasons we talked about already before. But if you just made a quick round of drones, took a fifth, had better creep, you then could make mass hydras all fucking day. And you could max out on hydras by like 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Like seriously, 1 minute from now you could be maxed out. Because you'd have more hatcheries faster, more queens injecting more hatcheries. Like this hatchery, why is it not getting injected right now? Should be injected immediately as soon as it's done. Fifth base, as soon as it's done, immediately being injected. You're doing a money build versus skytoss. Utilize it. Make queens inject hatcheries. You're falling so far behind in the macro element right now. You're literally turning yourself into an all-in when you don't need to. This is actually becoming an all-in for you. Again, the reason why I said was your army is not as well suited as his is to deal with each other. Your army is more poorly suited to deal with skytoss than his is to deal with the ground army. His army's suited better to deal with you than yours is to deal with his. You really got to have better creep spread. Your creep spread is so important in this situation because you can spot where he's coming. Like the fact that you have this so blind. If he shows up with voids that go into your main right now, it will fuck you over. Like you should very, very, very much have a creep teamer already by here by now. And same thing with this spot right here. Your expansion should be covered by creep on the border.
Mineral field
And you're making Banes. Not a fan. Because you want to know what Banes are? Banes are less hydras and you're dealing with a pure air army. Now, sure, you can deal with shield batteries and photon cannons a little bit faster with Banelings, but how are you going to deal with the air army that is going to be able to just straight up beat you if you have less hydras than you should? You're under-emphasizing your hydras right now, and it's going to fuck you. What I see is happening is, what I'm about to see happen here, or what I think is going to happen, is you might actually kill the 4th, but your whole army will die for it. And if you don't kill the 4th, you're going to lose a lot of units and run away, and you're not going to kill any of his. So you attack the 4th. All your hydras are dead. Not a single void ray has died. All your lings are just bleeding themselves into death. You're focus firing the Nexus, and you didn't even kill it. Because shield battery overcharged shield through it. You basically just reset your entire army. That army took you probably about 90 seconds to make. And you just reset all of it. And his army that he made for the last 90 seconds is all still there. And now he's going to build on top of it. And you're going to remake what just died. And you're going to start making on top of what you're remaking. You're going to make new units a little bit faster because you have more hatcheries than you did before by a little bit. But you're literally having to replace what just died first before you can continue forward. And what this is going to do to you is it's going to keep you in this fucking weird situation where you're really close to the Protoss' supply, even though your army is not nearly as powerful as his is. And now you made drones behind this. I like that you have drones, but I think you made it at a really bad time. You should have made them a lot faster, because now what those drones just did to you now is it puts you in a weird position now to where if this Protoss counterattacked you after you just threw your entire army away, how the fuck do you stop that? You will literally lose bases. And if he doesn't counterattack you and he sits back, that's best case scenario for you. But you're still in the same predicament of you're going fucking banelings and melee upgrades with less emphasis on Hydra. Your army is not suited at all to deal with what he's doing. You're going mass Zerglings and banelings. You're treating him like he's going for like mass zealots with a little bit of Archon Immortal. So many fucking Banes. Even if you kill a Nexus, how are you going to deal with his army? You aren't. And he'll just counter push you and kill you. This is so many potential Hydras you could be having again that you just don't have. And now you're going Corruptor. So you're going Lingbane Corruptor. Well, if you're going to go Corruptor, you need fucking Carapace upgrades. Corruptors by themselves without Carapace are dog shit. And also, Corruptors being made as a secondary to Hydra Lingbane are dog shit. They're really bad. This is going to just get demolished. Corruptors are really bad if you don't have Carapace upgrades versus Skytoss. Your Banes are going to get manhandled right now. You might kill some probes, but you're going to get manhandled. You killed one probe right there. Here comes a lot more Banes now, this time. Realistically, you just killed about 6 probes. Maybe 7. 6 is, I would say, honestly, 6 is like being very fair. You killed 2 pylons and 6 probes with about 30 banelings. This is just not an effective way to play against Skytoss. The only way, so if you've ever watched like a pro gamer throw banelings in the middle line of their opponent and you're like, whoa, holy fuck, a whole middle line just got blown up. What the fuck? Wow, that was crazy. That was so effective. You want to know something, what they're doing, why that's effective? They multitask it. They're not just setting banelings randomly by themselves into the middle line going, let's hope this guy's AFK. That's when they're attacking at the same time, and while the Protoss is busy dealing with this fight, suddenly 12 banelings run in the middle line, and the Protoss is not even realizing it because he's currently microing here, and he's like, fuck, I gotta dodge shit, I gotta set up things, I gotta fucking overcharge my battery, I gotta get out of corrosive biles, whatever. Meanwhile, before he knows it, oh fuck, my middle line just got blown up because I'm busy right now dealing with something else. I'm doing nothing, and then you're just attacking me randomly with one thing. It'll never work the way this was executed. And this fight you're about to do, you're going to get obliterated. You're going to genuinely get fucking obliterated. You don't have enough Corruptors to fight this off very well. You don't have enough Hydras to fight this off very well. And you are not you are not emphasizing upgrades for either one of them. And just throw it out there too, these units don't really pair that well together. They really don't. You should have more of one of them if you want to make one or the other. And the upgrade should be emphasized for one of them as well. Having a split Hydra Corrupt army is actually worse than having pure Hydra or having pure Corruptor. Because the way they both fight against this is complete opposite. Hydras kill Interceptors and then kill army. Void Rays, or sorry, Corruptors focus down the army first and completely ignore Interceptors. These things do not synergize well together. Because you're not going to have enough to do either job properly, which means you're going to do both jobs horribly. And what's going to happen now is these Void Rays are going to turn on overcharge. Your Corruptors are going to melt to the Voids. And then the rest of the army is going to just melt your Hydras after the Corruptors die. I do not know why he's not turning on overcharge, but sure. Even though he didn't overcharge, he still ran you over. And it's because this army is, again, all the reasons we said already, it's not suited well to deal with it. But at least you have a good economy, though. This guy he didn't really make a good economy himself. That's the only thing keeping him in this game right now. But I feel like if he counter pushes you right now, you're just dead. Because you just lost an army, right? And it gave him confidence to push. And this guy hasn't lost an army once this entire game. This guy has literally built upon himself and built upon himself and built upon himself and continued to build upon the previous army that he had repeatedly. You've completely, fully lost like 3 armies now. And you have to keep replacing. Meanwhile, this guy's upgrades, level 1 weapons, not ideal for Protoss. Protoss players out there, quick Protoss tip. Don't fucking get armor. Get weapons nonstop. Level 3 weapons first. That's what this army is, a powerhouse with weapon upgrades. You don't want to be tanking shit. You don't even get as much value. Here's an example, okay? Protoss players who don't know this math, a Void Ray gets 1 damage per upgrade on the fucking non-prismatic alignment activated thingy. But as soon as prismatic alignment is activated, they get 2 damage per upgrade when prismatic alignment's on. Okay? Now, carrier is the big one. Did you know that an armor upgrade for a carrier gives it 1 armor, no matter what? You get 1 value per 1 upgrade there. Cool. But did you know that when you upgrade a carrier's weapon upgrade, it gets plus 16 damage? You get 16 value out of 1 weapon upgrade for a carrier. You would have to upgrade armor 16 times to get the same level of value as you get out of 1 weapon upgrade for a carrier. Which means if you upgrade carriers' weapons 3 times, they get 48 value. And how am I getting that math? How does that make any sense? Because carapace or armor for all units in the game applies the number. It always gets +1. There is not a single upgrade that gives armor that is based off of like level 1, 2, 3 that gives more than 1 per upgrade. The only upgrade in the entire game that gives more than 1 armor upgrade, which is a 1 and done upgrade by itself, is chitinous plating for an ultra. That's it. And also the building armor for Terran. The Neil Steel frame or whatever the fuck it's called. Those are the only armor upgrades in the game that give more than 1 per upgrade, but it's because it's a 1 and done upgrade. It's like metabolic boost. But it's the armor version of that. It's a 1-time only upgrade. But for actual genuine upgrades out of like a Forge, a Cybercore, a Spire, fucking Evo Chamber, always 1 per upgrade. It's just 1. I want to change the music a little bit. Sorry, it's a little loud. Just 1 upgrade value per upgrade, okay? Just 1. Which literally means it takes 1 damage off what's attacking them. That's it. Now, if the unit has multiple attacks, then yes, you get multiple benefits from your armor, and that's great. Which is why you should get Carapace on Corruptors. Because did you know that when you upgrade your weapon upgrade on a Corruptor, it gives +2 damage? But did you know that when you upgrade your Carapace on a Corruptor, it gives +16 armor? Did you know that that 2 on the Corruptor right now represents 32 armor against a carrier's attack? And again, here's the math on it. A carrier has... This carrier right here, it does 5 damage without a weapon upgrade, and it does 6 damage with an upgrade. So it gets +1. But it has 2 attacks. You can see it right there. It says 2 attacks right over there. It's 6 damaged attacks 2. That means every time it shoots, that 6 applies twice. Because each laser beam that comes out of a fucking interceptor hits the target. Okay? So that really does 12 damage now instead of 6. But then you also have to take into account you have fucking 8 interceptors. So it multiplies by 8 more times of itself. So not only does the damage multiply by 2 of itself, but it multiplies by 8 because there's 8 interceptors. So it gets fucking crazy. So if you have a carrier that does 5 damage, and it does 5 damage times 2, which is 10, times 8, which is 80. Okay. We'll get a calculator here for this. I just drooled on myself because I'm so excited. 5 damage times 2 interceptor attacks times 8 of them is 80. Okay, now we're just going to change one number here. 6 damage times 2 attacks times 8 interceptors is 96. It's 16 more fucking damage than what it was a second ago when it only had 5 damage. Because it has so many modifiers that make it hit so much harder. So Protoss players, why the fuck are you getting armor first? Get weapons level 3. It's worth 48. Armor is literally worth 1. You're crazy if you think it's better. Zerg players, get fucking Carapace on your units if you're going to fight carriers. Because it gives you 16 armor per fucking upgrade that you have off of their carrier attack. It is so important to do these right. Because if you don't, you're making a dog shit army. That's really bad. Okay, now moving forward, back to the game at hand here. Corruptor Hydra combination kind of sucks. Because you're literally having to split your upgrades between 2 different sections now. And you're still going melee. And this doesn't deal with air at all. So you're just going to die. We can see how much economy damage that has been done, right? Like nothing. There has been like no economy damage, and now this army just gets fucking deleted. Because we'll say it like this. If the game ever gets to this point right here and you went melee upgrades, you've already lost. Because the whole point of melee upgrades would be this doesn't exist. Because the Protoss couldn't afford this because throughout the game up to this point, you have starved his ass out by how many probes you've killed. So instead of you killing 24 probes and the Protoss has an army that is worth 160 supply, you killed 84 probes and the Protoss' supply right now is at 90. That's what you'd want the game to look like if you went melee upgrades. And he has like 5 carriers max and then like no voids. Or like 1 void and 3 carriers. Or some shit like that. Like his army is literally really low. Because you keep resetting him and the Hydras that you're not emphasizing are able to do the job. Because the Protoss just can't afford more units. Or the Corruptors that you're not emphasizing are able to do the job because the Protoss can't afford more units. To be fair though, if you go Spire, get fucking Carapace every time if you go Corruptor against skytoss. It is unacceptable, no matter how you're playing the game, if you're going to go Carapace, or if you're going to go Corruptors and not get an upgrade. You have to get an upgrade and it needs to be Carapace. It has to be. But if you go Hydra, you could in theory skip the missile weapon upgrade if you're doing the thing I just said, where you're killing his economy like crazy, and this doesn't exist. Because as soon as this exists, and you've emphasized melee, you're already dead. This game is already unwinnable now. You're super dead. You're dead. You gonna learn today. You gonna learn. You ever seen a long dick? You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today. Kevin Hart's great. You gonna learn today. Yeah, you're just dead now. There's nothing else that really can offer you for advice here. You are absolutely dead. Now the Protoss is recalling some of his army back home to defend this base, and he clearly will. And once these lings all die, you have no units now. You have genuinely no units. You have nothing that can fight back in any way. So you are absolutely dead. So I hope what I said makes sense. I hope this helps. C9, thank you for doing the analysis. And yeah, you would have been much better off, dude, if you would have just gone for like mass Hydras and just did like, again, Corruptor, focus fire the voids, focus fire the carriers. Hydras, kill the interceptors. Like stutter step backwards, kill the interceptors, and like basically this is a really important thing to understand, okay? This is really important to understand this concept. And listen to this multiple times if you have to. Anyone out there that's a Zerg player. If your Hydras are very clearly going to kill all the interceptors and it's a landslide victory for you, stand your ground, fight the interceptors, and you win. However, if you're getting swarmed by interceptors, if you're currently standing your ground and the interceptors are currently coming out of the carriers faster than you're killing them, and you're literally losing Hydras at a pretty decent pace, and you're like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to win this fight against these interceptors all right now. I've killed a lot of them already, but there's still quite a bit out there, and I feel like I want to reset. I'm not feeling super confident that I'm demolishing this fight. Here's a cool thing you can do. Back up. Just back the fuck up. Back up. Get out of range of the carriers. What happens is all the interceptors fly back into the carrier again, and then you can re-engage the carriers after that, And then the interceptors have to come out one by one by one by one by one again, and you can take another good initial fight. You can literally do this multiple times to carriers and make the carrier interceptors always have to come out one by one by one by one out of each carrier, rather than taking a fight against them after they're all already out. And Protoss players, here's a cool tip you can do to your base. What if you had what if you were a Protoss player? You see a Zerg on his way to your base, and you take 2 carriers attack your gas, 2 carriers attack your gas, 1 carrier attack your pylon, 1 carrier attack your battery, 5 carriers attack your nexus, 1 carrier attack another Stargate, 1 carrier attack your core or some shit, or 2 carriers, 1 attack each other for just a second, just to get all your interceptors out of your carriers, and they're all hitting something, they're attacking, and then Zerg suddenly arrives about 2 seconds later, and you go, hey Zerg, I'm gonna A-move the ground now. And all of your fucking interceptors are already outside of your carrier, and you swarm him not with 1, 1, 1, 1. You swarm him with 115 all at once. And then Zerg just goes, just dies everywhere. There's a lot of cool tricks you can do to maximize engagements for both sides. And if neither player ever does that, it's something you can take advantage of. Like, if one side does it and the other side doesn't, the side who does will clearly win the game if they know what they're doing, because you can take advantage of people who don't know what they're doing. And that's a huge tip I just gave you for both sides. Zerg side and Protoss side. The initiation of the fight for carrier is a big make or break moment for the carrier. It's a big make or break moment. It either makes the carrier suck or it makes the carrier really good. And if you're a Zerg player and you see the Protoss killing himself and he has a bunch of fucking interceptors, back up. Just fucking back up. And guess what'll happen if you back up and you don't let the carriers aggro, have all interceptors swarm you then? It'll go back inside the carrier unless he focus fires something in his base again. And what if he kills his own nexus to keep the carriers out? Just stay back for a sec. Have a fucking changeling watching this or something. There's a lot of tricks you can do on both sides. Reset the carrier. Reset the interceptors. Fight them for 5 seconds and back up again. Reset them again. Fight them for 5 seconds and suddenly all the interceptors are dead. So anyways, C9, hope this helps. Lots of tips. Mass Hydras with upgrades properly for Hydras would have been your best bet, literally. And if this guy doesn't get Templars, you don't even need to go Ultra. And if he does get a few Templars and starts going Storm, just make Ultras with Chitinous Plating, and you already have them with the level 3 Carapace, and they don't need melee upgrades to fucking kill High Templars as Ultras. They already beat the shit out of High Templar, even if they're level 0 weapons. Templars have 80 health overall, 40 shields, 40 health, and Ultra hits by default for 35 fucking damage. It beats ass. So it 3 shots a Templar without upgrades. And if you have 3 Ultras, you're one-shotting Templar with 3 cleaves. Anyways, yeah. Good luck in your own games. Good luck in your games, Zerg players. Anyone else out there who watched this and learned from this, hopefully. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it might be. And have a good rest of your night. Have a good day. See you guys next time. Peace, guys.